Hey guys, Ranch here, bringing on of commentary. This is gonna be the winners match in Group G of the Ro32 of the Hana Daetoo MSL. I do apologize that I'm bringing this very late to you guys, but very busy with real life stuff and been feeling kind of under the weather lately. 4, 3, 2, yay, sinking. Yeah, I've been feeling a little bit under the weather lately. So, but hey, I'm gonna finish round 32 hopefully before the round of 16 starts. That's going to be on Thursday. So the last games will probably be coming to you guys on Thursday from the round 32. I apologize for this lateness, but oh well. This is going to be, of course, Calm and Pure on Triathlon. I'm going to have Calm as the orange zerg at the 12 o'clock position. We're going to have Pure at the 8 o'clock position as the yellow protoss. Not colors I like having together on the minimap, but thankfully because these are different races, I'm going to have a slightly easier time. Now, these guys had a fairly easy going against their opponents in the first rounds, so we're going to see what happens this time. Calm catching Free completely off guard, for instance, and Pure handling his opponent fairly efficiently as well, despite some surprises from Light. But we'll look forward to seeing what's going to happen here, because this is Calm's best matchup by far, so I definitely think he's going to have an advantage here. Pure, not as good at his advantage, but he has proven, particularly in his OSL performance, that he can play well overall. He's an overall fairly solid player, if not consistent enough maybe, but still overall a very solid player with very good mechanics. So he's a player I look forward to seeing what he can do in the future, what else he's going to be up to in the future, basically what kind of games he's going to be able to bring us. But we did see him put down a pylon inside of his own base, so he's going to go for one gate tech build right here. It's going to be very different, very interesting. We're going to see exactly what it tries to go for here. He's most likely going to be wanting to expand inside his own base past the mineral lines. Might be going for a slightly later expansion than usual. I don't overall to know. Might be going for fast tech. Might be going for a one gateway expand. We're going to see what he does. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, going to be an overpull, I believe, from Calm. A quick pull from him. So this is actually not really looking very good for Pure to start things off, because if Calm had gone for 12 hatch, Pure would be in a fairly good position, but he's going to need to get a couple of Zealots on that ramp of his before Calm moves out with his own Zerglings. And if Pure is a little late, if he does not pull enough probes offline, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. Unless of course Calm decides to not go aggressive, but I think going for an overpull, he's going to get those 6 Zerglings out there, try to put on some pressure. He did put down his own natural expo inside that upper right hand, inside that 1 o'clock position. So he's probably going to want to expand to the upper left right afterwards as he does. So initial Zealot now out there for Pure. He's going to be able to block the ramp with that. Probably will actually get the second. I think with the timings here, he will be able to get the second Zealot on that ramp before the Zerglings reach his own base. The rush distances aren't, they're fairly short, but not overall too short. Kind of average, I suppose you would say, because you do have to take a bit of a U-turn out there. We do see the Nexus coming up very quickly for Pure, so this is not going to be a fast tech, or else we would have been seeing the Cybernetics Core coming up much, much sooner, and I think it should be coming up right now as we speak, and the second Zealot should be running down on that ramp. Meanwhile, now, Pure also going to keep his probe alive by pulling it toward past those minerals. Of course, workers can freely move, past those eggs, I'm sorry. They can, of course, freely move past those eggs. And, Calm deciding to expand at the inside 12 o'clock rather than try to move with a couple of drones towards that, past those eggs to force to attack that probe, because that probe could have been very annoying, so decides to go for the safe option at the inside 12. It did get scouted by Pure's probe, but I think it's actually going to get scouted, and I think that's the same probe that was inside that base, so it is going to scout the third hatch coming down. Most wondering what it is that Calm's going to go for here. He might be thinking of going for aggressive action, because he did spot what his opponent went for. Probe going to come by, and that's a Hydra Den coming down nowhere. Hydra Den would have been absolutely critical for Pure to get that scout. I think he's actually moving another probe out there just as Cybernetics Core is coming out, adding in that second gas, going to start mining in his new expansion. But I think he's actually moving out with a second probe, and if he manages to somehow sneak him past all these Zerglings and get the scout in that main, just spot the Hydralisk, then he's going to be, at the very least, it's going to give him a little bit of a advantage to know what's coming at him. Going to sneak nicely past by those Zerglings. Unless there's something on that ramp, he's not going to be able to sneak past, but it's going to be critical for him. He's going to need some cannons up He's going to need to get a forge up there to put some cannons on top of the ramp. At the very least, there's going to be advantages for him that he's going to be able to fight down a ramp instead of up a ramp. Probe's going to run right past that drone, not blocking him at all. He's actually, he is going to be able to get the scout. Nice play by Pure. Nice timing. He's going to spot the lair coming up, but that's not the information he wants. He wants that Hydra den that's up there. So at the very least, we're probably going to be seeing him putting down a forge if he doesn't already have one. Putting down a robotics facility alongside. Has a Stargate up already, not producing... Yeah, not producing that initial Corsair out there at all because you want very heavy scouting with that probe canceling his Corsair as he does so. Gets that robotics facility up. I'm wondering, is producing his initial Corsair out there, so he's going to try to do some harassment with that. But I think the robotics facility might be to get some Reavers out there to defend them on the ramp. I'm not altogether too sure whether he's gonna try to take up to Sir Reaver, but with only one gateway out there, he could still be in a lot of trouble. He's only going to be producing troops for one gateway, and Calm is going to go for this. 3 Hydras running in, and all of the eggs probably going to be producing Hydras right now. Probe going to be spotting around. Corsair going to spot those Hydras, and Zerg is coming at his base. Only 3 Zealots to defend. This is going to be troublesome, very, very troublesome here for Pure. He's going to be in a lot of trouble. Just hold positioning on that ramp with those Zealots, not even engaging the Hydras as they were just getting some free shots on them, just now coming up. Bunch of probes coming off the line. I think that's all the probes from the main, and the Dragoon as well. They're going to be able to hold this off at least for now, but for how long? There are going to be reinforcements coming in right now for Calm. Calm's going to be able to completely dominate. This is going to be very, very difficult for Pure to fight this back. Has only a couple of Zealots right now, and one single Dragoon going to yet again be forced to utilize all those probes. Only has one single gateway producing. Very heavily damaged Zealots, some of them. Does barely manage to fight these 3 Hydralisks back. And is putting a photon cannon, so he did have a forge. I did not see it, but he did have a forge coming down, so they're really going to be able to put some cannons in front. But meanwhile, as the cannons come up, 2 cannons, he's going to need to delay as long as possible. Use the Dragoon at the back, using this probes to block those cannons, try to block as much damage as he can. He's going to lose a lot of probes, he'll lose a lot of mining time as he does this. Zealots, a couple of Zealots dying there, and probes just coming off the line to block off on that bridge, on that ramp, and more Hydra is going to be on the way. For Calm, this is going to be a very good position for him. We're going to see how whether Pure actually manages to fight this back. Even if he somehow miraculously manages to fight this back, he's going to be in a horrible economic position. Loses all of his attacking units except one single Zealot and a bunch of probes. So many probes are already dead for him. Probes is just falling all over the place. No attacking units left. A few cannons still left aligned, and all the probes, only 2 probes, 2 probes left aligned at this point. Still trying to put down some photon cannons. No mining going on inside the main whatsoever. There is some mining at that natural X, but beyond the eggs. I'm not sure whether Calm is really getting his own economy up very strong, but I think he's mostly focusing on getting some units out there. But still, Pure somehow manages to fight this back thanks to his cannons on top of that ramp. Those Hydras being forced to push up that ramp, so at the very least it's a decent defensive position from Pure. And now we're going to see what he actually manages to push through with this for the victory. He has a couple of Corsairs out there, not that much to defend that's maneuverable around here, so he's just going to try to wing them around, try to pick off some overlords, try to make sure that to supply block Calm at least a little bit, try to force him to get some overlords out there, not be able to get a strong enough Hydra force out there to push him yet again. But he's going to be Pure's going to be forced to rebuild, get a bunch of probes out. Actually being forced to release some of the probes from his secondary to his main. Still flying around with those Corsairs. I think for now his Corsairs could be a deal breaker for him right now. He needs the Corsairs to go around and do some damage. He needs to be very wary of those Hydras, needs to keep them alive, needs to try to pick off another overlord. I think he's only picked off one, might have picked off 2 while we were focusing on the battle, might have actually picked off another one as that was happening, but still, that we did see a Spire coming up now for Calm, so he's going to have some Scourge out there to fight against these Corsairs. There is a robotic support, so at the very least, Pure is going to have a Reaver on that ramp. On top of that, still only 1 gateway producing troops. I'm not even sure if probably just producing Zealots at this point. But as soon as he has a Reaver on top of that, that's going to give him a huge bonus to fighting on top of that ramp, because one Scarab going down as the Hydra start to push up, that's just going to rip through them. And on top of that ramp, of course, as well, that Reaver is going to be very well protected, especially if you have Zealots or even probes at the front. You're going to be able to defend that very well. You're going to have to try to not accidentally kill your own guys, but hey, just have to be careful in what you do. High Templar, I think, at this point for Pure is an impossible choice. Some Scourge out there for Calm. Corsair's going to have to shoot. Oh, nice! Oh, absolutely beautiful pincer. This is what Calm does to you. He just forces you into traps. So both Corsairs, there is going to be continued Corsair production. 2 Corsairs inside the main right now, and the Scourge Beam are going to go in there and spot the blinking, and that more Corsair movement is going to be coming along. Still only 2 Zealots on that ramp, but initial Reaver is out there. I'm wondering whether Pure's going to actually be able to continue taking up at this point, to continue to get his Citadel Doom going, to get his ground army a little bit more useful. think he's also upgrading weapons. One is his Corsairs at this moment because I think he's trying to transition into Sarah Reaver, try to go around, do some economic damage to Calm, because that's going to be critical at this point. Calm, I don't think was working on his economy at all while he was pushing in, but at the same time, Pure lost a full assortment of mining units. He lost, I think, 20 probes, give or take. A few more give, probably. But still lost a lot of units. Going to be Reaver on that ramp with that cannon firing down as well. So the race is going to be able to hold this position for